Under pressure. Pressure.
Welcome to Fahrenheit AI, Episode 3. This episode is all about AI-generated text. I'm now trying to get Midjourney to say hello in text. I generated the word hello in Midjourney version 3. Now I've applied a very region and changed the background into a person holding a sign. Here's the final result. Hello! Midjourney could be better at generating text. We all know that. But is there something that will generate text? Something that we could use that is AI and that is good at generating AI text? Today, Ideogram is that solution. Ideogram loves to steal. It reminds me of someone else. Ideogram is a free platform. Everyone's on it, so it's really slow. It's fun to scroll through what everybody is building while you're waiting for your generation because there are some silly things. It's very good at Disney-esque artwork and Nike. I got really close to the word Fahrenheit on the first try. It says Fahrenheit AI. Next, I'll select that one and generate it again. On my second generation, I actually got two that are spelled right. Fahrenheit AI and Fahrenheit AI. That's amazing. 2 attempts. It took me forever to get the word hello in Midjourney, and it didn't even look that good. Now I'm using Remix instead of Ideogram. There are a bunch of options for styles that you can select. This is one of the reasons that Ideogram is so good. It's more of a box cake than a recipe. I will keep working with Fahrenheit AI and see what I can come up with. I'm looking for something apocalyptic. That one looks pretty good. Anything that's spelled right, I'm saving. I go over to let'senhance.io and I enhance the resolution on the one I like and take it into Photoshop. Now that we're in Photoshop, I will screen capture Fahrenheit AI and give it to Midjourney with the describe function. While Midjourney could be better at generating text, it is good at reading. Maybe this Fahrenheit AI will inspire it to do something apocalyptic. In the meantime, let's take another look at Ideogram. It's good at rendering 3D objects. It's also good at stylized artwork like these Hawaii posters. There's really no limitation to what you can do. You'll see a lot of movie posters, and some of them are pretty funny. Now that I have Fahrenheit AI described in Midjourney, Midjourney has given me this image, which I really like. It's apocalyptic. So I've combined the Fahrenheit AI with this image of the human and robot faces. Where are AI regulations coming from? There's a lot of text that you can read about rules around generative AI and the companies that are working with those regulations. Credo.ai is one of them. You can follow a blog on credo.ai that shows updates like the EU AI Act. Here's a blog about the 7 risks of generative AI. The first risk is hallucinations. A financial institution uses a generative AI system to provide investment recommendations. The report it generates isn't real. It's a hallucination based on training data. This could lead to legal liabilities. I think it's interesting how generative AI in the art world and in the training data is all about hallucinations and LSD type images. Maybe when humans take hallucinogens, we're just breaking things down into our generative models and training data sets. Harmful content. A company implements a generative AI chatbot on its website, but due to training data, it's very offensive, which we've seen happen with Bard and others. Algorithmic bias. If a company uses a biased generative AI model to generate job descriptions or select candidates for job interviews. Misinformation. A bad actor can generate false political information that can spread to millions. We've lived this. Intellectual property. The company utilizes generative AI to develop a new logo. However, unbeknownst to them, one of the generated designs closely resembles an existing logo by another company. If the company unknowingly uses this logo, it faces the risk of IP law violation, financial responsibility, and reputation damage. Privacy. Healthcare organizations use generative AI to provide personalized treatment recommendations. The organization risks non-compliance with data privacy regulations if the AI system mishandles personal information during input or output. Cybersecurity. The company integrates generative AI into its software development process. The AI-generated code contains unnoticed security vulnerabilities. When the code is deployed without proper security measures, it exposes the company's system to potential theft and damage. And finally, the unknown unknowns, the risks that we don't even know about yet. While learning about Credo AI, I looked for things that might fall into the EU AI generation bucket, and I came across this. I don't know if this is David Attenborough's actual voice, if it's generated by AI or someone playing him for the recording, but either way, it sounds very much like him.
Under the canopy of the green bean jungle, the garden gremlins are enjoying a tasty snack. Their small snouts and sharp teeth make them efficient green bean picking machines. They rely on a powerful sense of smell to sniff out the tasty beans and then pluck their prize from the unsuspecting plant. In order to avoid detection, they use the cover of the dense leafy canopy to their advantage. It's not particularly effective. But fortunately, they are very cute, so the farmer just pretends she can't see them.
The National AI Advisory Committee, NAIAC, is the U.S. government's advisory committee for generative AI. The website contains legislation and executive orders mostly dealing with expanding AI in the United States. Recently, some executive orders have allowed for regulation and restriction. I was looking for things that might fall into the US AI generation bucket with deepfake. Enjoy!
The sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my fools away. I've done go right up till now. The light of day shows me how. It's when the night falls, my loneliness calls. Oh, to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me.
For my final text project, I did a real-world project. I was asked by a friend to develop a logo for the band, The Midnight Buzz. He asked for 2 angry bees with bloodshot eyes fighting under a crescent moon. I started generating images in Midjourney. The customer wanted something more graphic. This generation turned out to be too scary. This one was more aligned with their original idea. Then I showed the customer some of the other AI bees generated along the way, just to inspire.
Before we come to the end, I just wanna feel that love again. I just wanna feel alive, my friend.
He asked, if I send you pictures, could you turn the band members into bees? And I said, yeah, sure, probably. I went into Ideogram and I worked on the text first. I had been working on Birds Aren't Real, which came out really well.
While the night is still young. Oh yeah.
I even tried to do a Hitchcock version.
Shine on, everyone.
Then I started to generate the Midnight Buzz. Initially, I began to do the whole design in Ideogram. It seemed complicated, so I reduced it to the text.
Excited, so undecided. Losers and winners stand and deliver.
Then, the customer mentioned that he would be interested in having a neon sign of the Midnight Buzz. Ideogram immediately output neon signs. I settled on this design and took it into Let's Enhance.io to upscale the image. After processing it through Let's Enhance, I took it into Photoshop.
Now let's take this time and watch us dance while
In Photoshop, I cropped the image.
the night's still young.
Then I used the Generative AI tool to clean up the Midnight Buzz of all the extra information and things that Ideogram had generated. That just involved generating with the word remove. Photoshop AI removed them. In the spots where the neon was partially filled in, I generated the word neon and it filled it in.
When I could show you love, just give me one more chance while the night is still young.
When the image was finally clean, I isolated it and surrounded it with black. And then I took it into Illustrator. Illustrator has a new mockup tool. You can use the mockup window to download stock photo images to place your mockups on. It uses a vector graphic on a raster mockup template, like a t-shirt picture.
I just wanna feel that love again. I just wanna feel alive, my friend. I still
I turned the Midnight Buzz into a vector graphic. I size it to the shirt template,
this time and watch us dance while the night is still young. Oh yeah.
and I said, Object, Mockup, Make. It applies a mesh to the surface of the vector that forms it to the mockup behind it.
Losers when stand and deliver while the night's still young.
Once it was formed to the background, I applied a color dodge so that it was just the neon sign. Then I started to develop the caricatures of each band member in Midjourney. In the end, all 5 band members were represented by bee caricatures. The Midnight Buzz was added to the image, and a t-shirt was generated. The project took about 2 days with all the variations for the Midnight Buzz approved caricatures. Thanks so much, you guys.
End of the world.